So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, we are going to have fun with a very small but a very interesting topic called phrasal verbs. I request everyone to mute themselves because I am hearing some sounds outside. Uh, they are distracting me. I hope you don't mind. So today we will be discussing and having a small go through on the topic phrasal verbs. I request everyone to tell me what comes in their mind when they hear the term phrasal verbs. What is the first thing they associate with it?
The phrasal verbs, it is something, it includes verb along with preposition.
Okay, verb with preposition. Others?
To me, I think to me, the first thing comes as like the verbs that we use in phrases. I mean,
Okay, verbs in phrases. Others?
Is it another name of idioms?
Not really, but yes, they are the
Oh,
first step to idioms. Someone else?
okay.
Okay, so let's see what phrasal verbs, what actually they mean. Phrasal verbs is equal to verb plus particle. But before we understand what verb part is, what particle part is, let me tell you from where it derives its name. Phrasal verbs. Phrasal comes from the word phrases. And as we all know, phrases are a group of words that have some meaning, that makes a sense, but they cannot exist independently. Like make the ends meet or cup of tea. Cup of tea is a group of words that makes a sense, but it does not exist independently. I will have a cup of tea. Um, Making a wall is not my cup of tea. So in that way, phrases are a group of words that make sense but cannot exist independently. Similarly, in case of phrasal verbs, some group of words in which verb is a major portion joins hands with some other particles to form a combined verb. Okay. In this case, particles can be either adverbs or prepositions. So, phrasal verbs are a group of words where verb plays an important role and combines with either adverbs or prepositions to make a group of meaningful verb but cannot exist independently. Right? So as you can see on the screen, there is a small box which says that phrasal verbs and prepositional verbs have a relation. What is that and how prepositional verbs and phrasal verbs are different, we will discuss. But for now, just tell me, as per the meanings or as per the definitions you were giving, phrasal verbs, I'm repeating it. Phrasal verbs are a group of words which has verb as its prime that combines with a preposition or an adverb to form a new verb which makes some sense but cannot exist independently. So basing on this definition, can someone give me an example of the phrasal verb? Or if you have any queries on this definition, we can rediscuss it in parts. Anyone, any example that pops up your head?
Break off. Can that
To
be a
set on
trigger word?
fire.
I am not able to hear because two, three people are saying at the same time, one by one, please. And when you give an answer, please tell your name because I cannot see who all are there on the screen.
Alka. Can I
Yes,
say?
yes, ma'am, please.
Break off.
Break off, right? Break off. Some other example?
Suchasmita, hi,
Yeah,
Akshita.
yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
pass by,
Pass by. Great.
Called
Some
off.
more example. Called
Call,
off.
Let go.
Let go. So let's see some more examples of phrasal verbs. See, we can go through them. Okay. If you want, I will read them out for you. There is get in, come back, put in, go out. There are so many phrasal verbs. But before we discuss what phrasal verbs and prepositional verbs make a difference, because here you would all be seeing that there is verb plus preposition. So don't think that it just means verb plus preposition, because there are like break open, break away, the horse broke away from the stable, or the burglars broke open the window. So in this case, break plus open, open is the adverb part, broke away, away is the adverb part, not the preposition part. So phrasal verbs can be created by combining verb plus adverb or preposition, right? So phrasal verbs are of two types. One is transitive, the other one is intransitive. And they are very simple to understand. They have just 2 points of difference that we need to keep in mind, so that we understand phrasal verbs and their usage properly and at the right point of time. Okay. So first, as you can see, I have made two columns for better understanding. If you have any queries or any doubts at any point, just interrupt me and I will redo the thing. As we all can see, transitive phrasal verbs are dependent on the action. Intransitive phrasal verbs don't need action to be there. That is, we all know in a sentence there are two parts, right? A subject and an object. In case of transitive phrasal verbs, the phrasal verbs are dependent, sorry, in case of transitive phrasal verbs, they are dependent on the object. They will always need an object to establish themselves. Whereas in case of intransitive phrasal verbs, they will not need an object to establish themselves. As you can see in the example of transitive phrasal verb down right, there is written take up take off your jacket. So the jacket is the object part, and the phrasal verb take off is dependent on that object to have its meaning. But whereas in case of intransitive, the plane took off. So the plane taking off, the verb taking off is not dependent on the plane. It does not need the plane to be there to have its existence. The plane is doing an action is signified by taking off. But whereas in the first one, take off your jacket, the jacket is to be taken out, is being signified by the phrasal verb take off. Right? The second point of difference between intransitive and transitive is transitive phrasal verbs can be separated, they can be broken, whereas intransitive cannot be broken. Like in the second example, the transitive phrasal verb says the they turned the lights on. Turned on is the phrasal verb. We are separating them by putting the words the light in between. They turned the lights on. So the turned on phrasal verb is getting separated. Whereas in case of intransitive, they are inseparable. The lights are to be turned on. When the phrasal verbs are going hand in hand, that is next to each other, or are sitting like a pair, and are not dependent on the object, means they don't need the object to say what the action is being done, then they are intransitive phrasal verbs. Whereas intransitive phrasal verbs, the action, the verb will depend on the object and will signify what action is to be done by the object, plus can be broken or can be separated by the object. They will become transitive phrasal verbs. Hope I'm clear. If anyone has any doubts or queries, please ask me before we move ahead, so that the concept will be clear to grab when we will be doing the interactive part and solving some questions.
I have a question. Uh,
Yes, please. May I know your name?
Aisha.
Yes,
So,
Aisha.
the first point I didn't understand, like transfer their action to an object, and the second intransitive do not require. I mean, this thing I
Okay,
don't understand.
I am explaining it again.
Yeah.
What happens in any sentence? We know that there is a subject, there is a verb, and there is an object,
Mm,
right? So, in case of transitive phrasal verbs, they need the object to signify what the action is being done. Means, like, if I will say, Aisha, take off your jacket, that means the transitive phrasal verb here, take off, is the transitive phrasal verb, will need the object, that is jacket, to tell everyone what action or what work is to be done. If I will say Aisha take off, you will understand that Aisha has to leave. But what I mean to say is Aisha take off your jacket. Right? So without the object, this phrasal verb is not making any sense. Whereas in case of intransitive, the plane took off. Like I said, Aisha take off. That means Aisha left. It does not need any object to signify what action is being done, what work is being done. The plane took off. That means the plane left the runway, the airport, whichever place. It does not need the object to tell what work is being done. It itself tells what work is being done.
okay.
I guess you did not understand. Should I explain
Yeah. Can you
again?
give another example, like a
Mm,
different example?
the second one also we can work out with the second one. In the second one, it says they turned on the lights. If I will say they turned on what? What does the word turned on means? Turned on means nothing. When I will say they turned on the lights, you understand that the object lights are being switched on by somebody.
Okay.
Yes? And in case of the second example, as you can see on the screen, the lights are to be turned on. I am saying the lights are meant to be switched on only. When the light is present in the room, it is meant to be switched on. It is not meant to be switched off and be the room be in the darkness, right?
Okay.
The object does not depend on the verb does not depend on the object. The verb is automatically telling you what the action is to be done, what
But
work is to be done.
in both your examples, the first one, take off your jacket, and the plane took off. Uh, Both the things we are asking just one question, which is what? Like, what do you take off? Then we answer jacket.
Yes.
And here in that case also, what took off? So that
The
also we can.
plane. Yes.
Akshita, can I add it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what Akshita, she wants to say, take off your jacket. Take, jacket is a object, and take, and to whom, like person. Subject is a person. So we are telling to someone to take off your jacket. The person is the subject and jacket is the object. But in the second example, the plane took off. There is no object. The subject is the plane. And the plane took off. It went away. So in the second intransitive phrasal, we don't need action. We don't need a object to
We need
support
action. We don't need a fixed subject to
this
support
subject.
the verb. The
Yes.
verb is self, how to say, it's self sufficient to support itself,
Yeah, it's
Aisha.
clear. It's clear.
Okay.
Aisha, I don't think, Aisha, if you are not satisfied, we can do some other example, or you
Yeah,
can wait
yeah,
for
yeah.
the worksheet to come up.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you are still not clear, then I will redo it.
Okay.
Okay, so as we had read a phrase in the beginning, that there is a difference between phrasal verb and prepositional verbs. So here we go and we will discuss how prepositional verbs are different from the phrasal verbs, because phrasal verbs, as we read in the meaning, they mean verb plus a particle, which can be either adverb or a preposition. So when verb combines itself with preposition, does it become a prepositional verb, or does it stand to be a phrasal verb? How will we identify? Because prepositional verb, all the phrasal verbs are a kind of prepositional verbs, but not all prepositional verbs are phrasal verbs. Only some prepositional verbs are phrasal verbs. But how do we know what are prepositional verbs and what are phrasal verbs? So to clarify that, here are the points how we will identify which one is which. In case of prepositional verbs, ठीक है, they are made of a verb root plus preposition. They only have preposition. They will never have adverbs. In phrasal verbs, it can either combine with an adverb or with a preposition, right? This is the very basic definition of both the type of verbs. But prepositional verbs are always intransitive, right? They are independent of the object, they are independent of the subject, they are independent of the object. They just tell you what action is being done. They don't need a subject. Like the cat is sitting on the table. Sitting is the verb which is independent of the preposition being used. On is just establishing a relationship between the verb and the noun. The cat is sitting where? On the table. The table is the noun, the verb is sitting, and the preposition on is establishing a relationship between them. As we know, prepositions, the basic purpose of preposition is to establish a relationship between the noun and the verb, right? So in prepositional verbs, which we generally call as prepositions, do what? They create a relationship between the verb and the noun, right? The noun can be the subject, the noun can be the object. It is independent of what the noun is. It tells the position of the noun basing on the verb. It tells the position of the object or the subject basing on the verb, right? But phrasal verbs are not independent of subject and object. They are either dependent on the object or they are independent of the subject. As we discussed in the previous examples, take off your jacket, there they are dependent on the object. The plane took off, they're independent of the subject. They don't need any specific subject, a specific thing to be there to establish a relationship, right? Phrasal verbs can be separable. Prepositional verbs cannot be separated. They are inseparable, like the intransitive phrasal verbs. Now, I think and I hope this question might have popped your head, that prepositional verbs have all the qualities of intransitive phrasal verb. So, are both of them different? Yes, they are, because intransitive phrasal verbs cannot be separated, but are dependent, are independent of the subject, right? In case of prepositional verbs, they are not dependent on the subject, they are not dependent on the object, they just establish a relationship. Intransitive phrasal verb does not establish a relationship between the verb or the noun. It does not tell you the position of the noun basing on the verb, whereas prepositional verbs tell you the position of the noun basing on the verb, right? For example, they called on the man. Here, called on means to visit a man, to visit someone. They called on the man. Whereas in the other example, I'm sorry, they called on him. They called on the. So sorry. Just excuse me for a second.
Better have some water.
Am I audible?
Yes, oh, it's fine.
Yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. As we were discussing the examples, in case of phrasal verbs column, you can see the example. They called up the man. And in case of the prepositional set, you can see the example. They called on the man. Right? So, prepositional ones mean they called on someone. To call on someone means to pay a visit, right? We generally use call on, but when you say called up, that means you are missing that person, you summon that person, you are calling that person to meet you, or you are calling that person from, he is at some place and you are calling that person to next to you. In both the cases, in the first one, they called up the man. That is not telling you the position of the man, it is not telling you the position of some of the subject, it is not telling you anything, it is not establishing any relationship between the verb or the noun, it is not telling you the position of the noun, that is the man, or the position of the person, that is they. It is not telling you any details, it's just telling you that the man was summoned by someone. Whereas in the other case, they called on the man is telling you the position of the man, that is the man was paid a visit by someone. Call on means to pay a visit, right? It is a normal basic term. We generally use call on to pay a visit to someone. So when we say call on, it is establishing the on is establishing the relationship between the verb that is call and the man. Hope if you have any queries, I guess Sunil was raising his hand. So Toastmaster Sunil, do you have something to ask? If anyone has
Yes,
anything to ask.
I'd like just one question. First thing is phrasal verbs,
Yes,
but
sir.
then you told us transitive and intransitive phrasal verbs, and now
Yes.
it is now you just told us prepositional verbs. So all are basically categories of phrasal verbs, is it?
Sir, transitive phrasal verbs and intransitive phrasal verbs are two types of phrasal verbs.
Okay.
Okay, but prepositional verbs normal terms we call them prepositions. On, in, and
Mhm.
all those prepositions that we generally use, normal
All right.
use for
Okay.
up, at, on, in,
Mhm.
across, through. These are normal prepositions. But
Okay.
what happens? Sometimes we confuse phrasal verbs with prepositions. Okay, and prepositions in normal grammatical terms are known as prepositional verbs. So,
All right. All
well, get confused between them. There is a
right.
difference, a very thin line of difference between phrasal verbs and prepositional verbs. That
Mhm.
is, like prepositions set a relation between the verb and the noun. It tells the position of the noun. Phrasal verbs don't do that. Phrasal verbs never set a relation between the noun and the verb. Phrasal verb is independent of the object, it is independent of the subject. It can depend on the subject, it may depend on the object, but it does not need both of them. It will be happy with either the object or the subject, right? If I
All
say
right. Understood.
normal Hindi, फ्रेजल वर्ब्स को ऑब्जेक्ट मिलने से काम हो जाएगा या सब्जेक्ट मिलने से काम हो जाएगा, वो एक के साथ स्टैंड करेगा. बट प्रीपोजिशन को सब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट दोनों चाहिए अपने सेंटेंस में, क्योंकि वो वर्ब और नाउन को जोड़ता है. फ्रेजल वर्ब्स जोड़ते नहीं हैं, वो बस हमें बताते हैं कि क्या काम हुआ है. प्रीपोजिशन हमें क्या काम हुआ है वो नहीं बताता है, वो सिर्फ ये बताता है कि किस पोजीशन में या किस कंडीशन में काम हुआ है.
Could you please explain this with example?
Yes.
Phrase.
We take this
Yes.
same example which is on the screen.
Akshita,
Okay.
I think you can give another example. That would
Sure,
be very.
let me give you another example.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just a second. Okay. See, as we can see, I have made two pairs of sentences. One will take a normal preposition as the answer. The other one will take a phrasal verb in the answer. Okay, means one, when we insert the preposition, will remain to be normal preposition, that is the prepositional verb, but the other one will become a phrasal verb, right? So I would request all of you to give it a try, or else I am here to answer. I will answer them and I will tell you how the relationship is established. So I request all of you to unmute and just give it a try to the first pair of sentences. The
First
burglars
one,
broke dash the shop. The second sentence is the conference broke dash at 10 p.m.
First is broke
the burglars broke into the
into
shop. The conference broke up at 10 p.m.
Some
So,
other answers.
first is prepositional verb. Is it? The burglars
The
broke into
first
the shop.
one is prepositional. The burglars broke into the shop. The second one is phrasal. How did you identify, Sunil, that first one is prepositional?
Because it has burglars, then into
Yes.
and the
So
shop.
it is
Three
making
elements.
a relation, right? It is giving us the position of the burglars that is inside the shop. How? By breaking it. That is forcefully entering the shop. Maybe by breaking the window, breaking the door lock, or doing whatever means they wanted. The burglars, the position of the burglars is known to us through the preposition that is into, and the verb that is broke means they forcefully entered the shop. Whereas in the other case, the conference broke up at 10 p.m. That is, the conference was closed, was over at 10 p.m. So, do we understand any position of the noun? Or do we understand the situation of the subject? Is there any establishment of relationship between the verb that is break, or in this case past tense broke, and the conference? No. Or there is no relation between broke and 10 p.m.
Mhm.
Okay, let's try the second one. This will
So
clear.
just one more question. If we
Yes,
say the burglars broke the shop, will it be right?
that means the burglars made broke disintegrated the shop into small pieces.
Yes, they destroyed,
Yes, they
not.
destroyed
So
it.
the sentence will be fine, right?
Yes, if you want to say that the burglars
Because
literally destroyed it.
because they could not steal, so they just broke the shop.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
then in that case you will not say shop, you will say lock. The burglars broke the lock.
All right, all right.
The conference broke into.
Okay.
Yes, someone was saying something about the conference.
May I also join?
Yes, please.
Good evening to all of you. I'm sorry I'm late.
Good evening, ma'am. No
Yeah,
worries.
good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening to all of you.
Yes, ma'am. So we were
So,
discussing the relationship establishment between phrasal verbs and prepositions and how they are different.
okay.
Yes. Someone had some query about the conference sentence.
Okay. Is it done? The burglars broke into the shop.
Yes, ma'am.
The conference broke. Okay.
The conference broke up at 10 p.m. In the first case, the sentence here into is a normal preposition. In the second case, up is a preposition but is combining hands with broke to become a phrasal verb.
Okay. Very good. You went so deep into it. Very good. I appreciate it. Good.
Thank you, ma'am, but this is just the surface. Can we try the second one? I request everyone to
Yes.
unmute and participate, please.
The mob fell upon the thieves.
Okay, and the second one will be?
The attendance of this class never falls off.
Okay,
Falls off.
one more answer.
Should I also try?
Sure, ma'am, sure. Everyone is welcome to try. Please try some more answers.
The mob fell upon the mob fell upon the thieves. The attendance of this class never falls off.
Okay, some
Am
more
I right?
answers.
The
I
mob,
will reveal the
The
answers.
first one is
the mob fell.
the first one is phrasal verb. The first one is phrasal verb.
No, the first
Because
one is not the phrasal verbs.
Prepositional.
Preposition verb.
Yes,
Yes.
simple
okay, yes.
preposition.
Second one
This
is
is
phrasal
speaking.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we say the
second
mob
one is phrasal verb.
fell upon the thieves, that means they were trying to rob. Meanwhile, the mob fell upon them. They got hit
Yes.
by the mob. So when we are saying upon, it is setting a relationship between the verb, that is fell, with the subject, that is the burglars, as well as the object, which is the as well as the object, that is the mob. So fell upon the thieves, the mob fell upon the thieves. It makes a normal preposition. But when we are coming to the second sentence, the attendance of this class never falls off, means it never reduces. There is maybe always they have maintained an average of 90% attendance or 100% attendance. It never reduces down, it never falls down, right? So we can say falls off. So when we are saying falls off, the preposition of is combining itself with falls, that is the verb, to give what action is being conducted or what the object, that is the attendance of the class, is being talked about. But it is not setting any relationship between the object, subject, and the verb. Also, it is not giving you any position of the object or the subject, that is noun and verb are not discussing any position.
Good.
If anyone has any queries, please feel
Y- You mean to say that false of we are using means that something is false off. We are not
something is reducing.
reducing. You
Yes.
are that doesn't matter what is the subject and what is the object
Object, no.
between this.
When we are saying, suppose, for example, if I say the blood pressure of the patient is falling off, means it's continuously reducing and reducing. It is not getting
Yes.
any, it is not getting
Hmm.
stable. So no
Hmm.
relation is set, right? The position of the patient is not known by falling off. The patient may be at the hospital, maybe at his own home, maybe in the playground. We don't know. We just know that the blood
अरे,
pressure is reducing.
अच्छा फुलके बनाने हैं? मेरी अभी क्लास चल रही है, मैं इसके बाद बना दूँ। आपको खाना है?
मैम हमें भी खाना है.
I'm sorry, I couldn't switch it. I'm really sorry.
कुछ डिलीशियस बनाया लगता है.
Okay. May I also want to join in the second sentence.
Yes,
May
ma'am,
I,
please.
may I interfere? In the second
sure.
sentence, actually there is no object. Am I right? In the first
There
one,
is no perfect object, but there is an abstract
yes,
object, that is the attendance of the class.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes. The predicate of the sentence exists
Okay.
in the second sentence as well, on which the phrasal verb is not dependent, means phrasal verb को भी उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. False of independent अपना एक meaning बना रहा है, which is reducing, and
Okay.
is signifying that the object attendance of the class is reducing, but is not setting any relation between the subject, object, noun or verb. Right?
Mm.
Any queries?
Right.
Akshita, I have like 2 examples to discuss.
Sure, please.
So first is like so sorry. Is it also a phrasal verb?
No. So sorry is not a phrasal verb, because so is a conjunction and sorry is a normal way of tone, that is normal speech.
So it
It
won't qualify
falls
as
under
a.
abstract noun. So it will not qualify as a
Okay.
phrasal verb or prepositional verb. Neither. It's not a verb. Sorry is not a verb. It's an abstract noun. When we say
Okay.
apology or when we say
Okay.
pardon, they
Mhm.
need a verb with them. Sorry, apology, pardon, they need a verb with them. I beg your pardon.
Mhm.
I am apologetic
Mhm.
to you. When we are making apology, that is noun, to verb, we add apologetic. We change it.
Mhm.
Right?
So
I am
it's different.
sorry. That means I am feeling guilty. Sorry means feeling guilty. Instead of
Okay.
saying feeling guilty, we say sorry. But sorry does not become a verb. I am sorry. I am is the auxiliary verb which is making the sentence complete and is establishing the relationship between the subject and the abstract noun, that is sorry.
Okay. So it's not a phrasal verb. Understood.
No.
And let's talk.
Let's talk is also not a phrasal verb, because
Okay.
let's means let us talk. Here subject is us,
Mhm.
talk is the normal verb, and let
Mhm.
is the meaning to suppose. That you are making a proposal to everyone to talk.
Okay.
Right.
Instead of saying a long sentence which is I propose that we should talk, we simply say let us talk.
But when we started this meeting, we discussed that like instead of long sentences.
Yes, instead of long sentences, we can use phrasal verbs. Like in this
Mhm.
case, the attendance of the class is never reducing, or the attendance of the class is never reduced down from 90%. We are simply saying the attendance of the class never falls off.
Mhm.
Right.
So in the second example where we are proposing to talk, so what is the
Sir, understand.
difficulty? Mhm.
Yes, Sunil. phrasal verb is always a combination of verb plus a particle. The particle can be either
Okay.
adverb or preposition. When they
Okay.
combine, they can be used to replace long sentences or long words.
All right. So, if we say food is ready, is it a phrasal
Here,
verb?
no.
No, again.
Ready is preparation, that is again abstract noun. Is the
Okay.
auxiliary verb which is acting
Yes.
as the main
All
verb.
right.
Food is
Okay.
again the noun which is standing still. Here
Okay.
no preposition is there, na?
Hmm. All right. All right. I
For
have to.
a phrasal verb to be a phrasal verb, it should have a verb plus adverb or preposition, like break, open.
Okay.
Break
Okay.
is
Okay.
the
Okay.
verb,
Should have a
open
should
is the adverb.
should have one preposition.
Yes, either a preposition
Okay.
or an adverb.
Okay. Verb plus
Break
adverb or
away.
preposition.
Yes, break away, break
All right. All
open,
right.
get,
All right.
come.
We will add
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
someone was saying something.
verb plus adverb and verb plus preposition is a phrasal verb.
Phrasal verb.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Just to clarify, because everyone, I feel this can be a confusion in future. Phrasal verbs may not be of 2 words. They can be of 3 words also. But for those 3 words to stand, the beginning 2 should be a verb plus preposition or adverb, and then they can combine with some other word to make a sense. For example, looking at me as, sorry, looking on me as. So looking is the verb, on is the preposition, as is the another word which the phrasal verb is using to tell that the person looks at me or the person feels me so and so. If I say that,
May I ask one
yes,
question?
sure.
Suppose there is a sentence, we should not look down upon the poor. Look
Here
down
is,
upon is a phrasal verb.
yes, look down is the phrasal verb. Upon is again a preposition which is establishing the relationship of this verb look down with the subject the poor and the, sorry, or the object the poor and the subject we.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. Should we try some more questions?
May I ask some other sentence so
Yes,
that
ma'am,
it can
please.
be clear to me.
Yes, sure.
I give another example.
Hmm.
We should not poke our nose into others' matters. Poke our nose into others' matters.
No.
Is it a
Poke.
phrasal verb?
No, ma'am.
Then
Poke is an independent verb which can stand independently and mean not to enter.
okay.
So poke into is the prepositional verb.
Okay. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
You are
Into is,
prepared so nicely and so concretely. I'm really proud of you. Very good.
thank you, ma'am. Here into is establishing the relationship directly with the verb, that is poke, with the subject we. We should not poke our nose into others' matters. So nose is the object, is being related to the subject we with the verb poke by the preposition into.
Okay.
Some other queries, some other doubts, or we can try some more questions. I have lots of questions that will help you get a clearer picture of how phrasal verbs work.
Let you ask some other sentences so that we can try.
Ma'am, I have some more questions.
Take
Just
some time.
give it a shot. And if you don't feel satisfied, you can ask some more questions. Should we try?
Yes.
Yes.
According to me, we can afford.
Yeah, just give me a second. Here. So we have 5 set of questions. They are very easy ones, and I have
Okay.
given the meaning of the phrasal verb. That is, the first one, thus this he saw dash our comfort in every way. Here, whatever preposition or adverb we will fill in this dash, when combined with saw, will mean attend to.
Okay.
Am I clear? If anyone has any doubts before we solve these questions, please feel free to ask. Or I will request everyone to unmute and give it a shot. So, can someone tell me what will be the answer of the first one?
Upon.
Okay, some more answers.
Two.
Two, okay. What else?
Into.
Into, okay. What else? Here, the answer will be he saw to our comfort in every way, which means he tried his best to attend to every necessity that we need, every requirement of ours to make us comfortable. So instead of saying a long sentence that he attended to all our comforts, all our necessities to make us comfortable in every way, we are simply saying he saw to our comforts in every way. So here, to, when added with saw, becomes a phrasal verb. It is not establishing any relationship between the subject and.
Please repeat. Sorry. Please repeat this again.
Sure. Here, the answer will be to. He saw to our comfort in every way, which means he attended to every necessity of ours to make us comfortable in every possible way. We are just making it simple and a little more informal, a little casual by saying he saw to our comfort in every way, which means he attended, he tried his best, he gave his attempts to make us comfortable. So here, when saw is combined with the preposition to, is making a phrasal verb because it is not setting any relation between the subject, which is us and is hidden and is not available in the sentence, or the object, which is again abstract, that is our comfort, right, with he. There is no relation, there is no establishment of position. He saw to our comfort is not telling us what is the position of that he or what is our position. We are just saying that we were made comfortable by him. I am again repeating, I am not able to see everyone's screen. So if you have
May
queries,
I do the
please.
second one? May I do the
Yes,
second one? The old woman looks at me as her son.
okay, some more
Am I right?
answers.
The old woman looks upon me as her son.
Okay, some more answer.
The old woman looks at me as her son.
No, let me tell you. The old woman looks on me as her son. That is,
Okay.
she considers me or she feels me as equivalent to her son. How the value of me is equal to her son.
Okay.
Okay, so instead of saying the old woman values me equal to her son, we simply say the old woman looks at me as her son.
Okay.
So here the phrasal verb is look on me as. So me is not needed, but look on as is the phrasal verb,
Can
is
it
a combination of 3 words where the basic condition is being justified. Look is the verb plus preposition is the on, and they make a proper phrasal verb which is getting combined with another word to make a established sense.
Okay. Can it be like this also? The old woman looks upon me
No,
as
ma'am.
a son. It
Here,
can be on or
upon,
upon, I think.
no, it
No?
will be only on. It will not be
Okay.
upon. Reason
Okay.
being, when you look upon something, that is, you are expecting someone or something from that thing, and looks on
Okay.
means to treat at an equal level.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay, so will someone try the third one, please?
Yes.
Yes. The holidays are drawing near.
Right.
Okay, some more answers.
Holidays are drawing close.
This is also right.
The holidays are drawing in.
Okay, some more.
Holidays are drawing out.
No,
No,
no, no,
no.
not out, not out.
It's approaching.
Yes, because the meaning given there is approach. That means they are coming close, or
All right. All right.
the most appropriate answer is drawing near. I don't remember who answered that, but that's the most appropriate answer.
Which is Smita.
Great, Suchishmita ma'am. But we can use the word close as was answered by someone else. Drawing in
Yes.
is wrong because to draw in means to bring in something. It's not approaching. You bring
Yeah.
when you get something, when you pull in something, that means you are drawing in something. So
Can it be soon as well?
no,
No.
no, because soon is neither an adverb nor a preposition. It should be
Near,
either
near.
an adverb. Yes, near is the most
Near or close can be.
near or
It can be either near or close.
because close is the adverb, near is the preposition. So drawing near or drawing close means to approach, right? In this case, we are considering drawing close because holidays are an abstract object. But if you will say this with some person, which is live person, you cannot say Ram is drawing close. You will say Ram is drawing near, means he is approaching me. With person, drawing near. With abstract object, right? Abstract object means the things which you cannot touch or feel, sorry, touch or see. So they will be drawing close or drawing near. Both are right. For things which you can see, touch, feel, or are living things, it's always drawing near. Any queries? Or we can try the fourth one.
The next one.
The next one,
He got to the train from Amritsar.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Got off the train.
Okay, someone said
He
got off.
got
Yes.
into the train.
No,
He
into means
got to the train.
Into.
Got to the train from Amritsar.
He
Yes,
got down.
mine
Got
was.
okay.
He
Please,
got
please.
down the train from Amritsar.
Okay. Now let me tell you. The right answer is got off. Someone had answered this.
Oh,
Someone said got into. To get into means to get in, but here the meaning is descent. Descent means to get down. Okay, descent means to
oh.
go down. So get off from the train. Okay, that is to get down the train. But you don't say get down, because when you will say get down from the train, that means you got under the train. So it will
No,
be
no, no.
off
No,
the train.
it's all right. He got down the train. It should be.
No, ma'am, it
It
will
doesn't
not be
mean
got
that
down
we get under the
because,
train.
ma'am, because from is there, na. So when you are combining
He
two
got down the.
prepositions, no,
Actually, say the descend from the the from is linked with descend,
yes,
not
ma'am,
otherwise.
yes, ma'am.
He got down the train. It should be.
Ma'am, let me just answer your query. When
Yes.
I am giving you the meaning descent from, that
Okay.
means I am already giving you an additional preposition, right? So when you will say got down the train, so that means got down from the train, which is नीचे उतरते हुए दौड़ते वक्त ट्रेन के नीचे आ जाना.
No, I don't think it means that.
I
Yes.
don't think so.
It means something just pulls you down, no, mentally or emotionally. I don't think it means positive.
Ma'am,
No.
can I say something?
When it says
We
mentally or
got
emotionally, you are saying that does not mean, that means getting down. Getting down is breaking or giving up. You are getting down emotionally, means you are coming down bit by bit, you are breaking down bit by bit into pieces, you are shattering down because you are not able to handle your emotions. That means you are getting crushed
Listen,
with your emotions.
wait a minute, please. Ascend means to go up.
Yes.
Descend means to come down. Am I right?
Yes.
The same thing is there. So it should be he got down the train,
Ma'am,
not.
descent from something. You are just saying descent. Descent, the word descent means to down, go down. The word descent from is something which is moving or is at a stable condition. The train is either moving or is in a stable condition. But if you people think there is a confusion, I will surely look this up in the book I was referring to, and I will get back to you on the group
It,
we all share and clarify this doubt that it is
Ma'am,
stop or get down.
sentence have been better if it was he got
actually,
off the train at Amritsar. At Amritsar.
it
From
could be
Amritsar.
yes. It could be like this. Or he got off the train.
Under the train, this factor. Off the train means left the train, right?
I am not able to hear you, whoever it was. I'm sorry.
Ma'am,
Can
I
you
was
please?
not. Yeah, ma'am, I was not questioning upon the phrasal verb got off. Got off, I think it is correct, but the sentence that it says that the train from Amritsar, that should have been the train at
It's at
Amritsar.
Amritsar, right? Thanks for pointing out. That's a small typo on my
Yeah,
side.
exactly.
Sorry for that mistake.
From,
But
yeah,
it got off the train at Amritsar, right? I beg your pardon for that small typo. Please just
Ma'am, you are explaining it very well. Thank you for the explanation. Thank you so much.
so can we go on the fifth one, please?
NCRT has laid down a detailed syllabus.
Okay, some more examples. I mean, sorry, some more answers.
Laid off.
Okay, laid off and
laid in.
no, not laid in.
laid
Laid
down.
down.
It's always laid down, means to fix or to prescribe a detailed note. So the NCRT prescribed a detailed syllabus. The NCRT fixed this detailed syllabus for the students to study. So it laid down. If I will say the principal laid down the rules clearly, means fixed or established those rules at that particular moment. All the points of the agreement were laid down loud and clear. That means they were fixed and they were bind and they were agreed upon. I hope I am clear. Can we move to the next slide and try some more questions if you like?
Yes, ma'am.
So here, these are a little at a higher level. So let's try them. The same thing follows. The meaning is given and you can try to fix the adverb or the preposition with the verb. So the first one says the hood of the car keeps dash the sun and the rain, which means prevent. So what can you associate with
Keeps
keep?
on
Would
the
mean
sun.
no, ma'am, not keeps on.
Off.
Off. Yes.
Of
O double F.
Of.
Keep
Keeps
off. That is to prevent. So moving on to the next one. The meal turns dash 1,000 yards of clothes every day. Of cloth every day. That means to produce.
just just a doubt.
Yes, sir. Please.
In the first sentence, the hood of the car keeps
Off.
off
O
the
double
sun
F.
and the rain. But
Yes.
what if we use the hood of the car prevents the sun and the rain? What is, I mean, what is the difference between two sentences?
There is no difference, sir.
Okay, I mean, so what advantage we are getting like keeps off by using keeps off? Because
Sometimes,
the sentence is same.
yes.
I mean, it's not getting shorter.
No. Sometimes here all the sentences are not meant to tell you how they become shorter. Here some sentences are meant to tell you the use of the phrasal verb,
Okay.
just to get you a hold of how the phrasal verbs work.
Hmm. Okay.
If there is any other query. But sir, every time you will say prevents, that will not sound good, na? So you can replace prevents with keeps off.
Right. Understood. So keeps off is the phrasal verb here.
Yes. O double F.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
So the
Yes.
second one turns.
Thank you for being so precise.
You are most welcome. The meal turns dash 1,000 yards, 1,000 yard of cloth every day. And you
Up.
up?
Turns up.
No,
On.
no. To turn on means to switch on. The meal cannot switch on cloth. The meaning is to
Turns up.
In.
Up.
In.
turns over.
Turns. Right.
You must have heard this word turnover. The
Yes.
turnover of the
Yes,
company is
yes,
XYZ. The
yes.
turnover of the business is so and so. Turnover is a phrasal verb which we hear regularly, which means produce. The turnover of the company is 1 crore, means the company is producing 1 crore revenue. The turnover in the mutual fund is 10%. That is, the mutual fund you will invest in will give you 10%, will produce 10% for you, right? So let's move on. I am sorry to put you dash so many troubles. I
In.
genuinely mean
In.
it.
Put you
In.
in.
No,
Put.
no,
In.
Yeah.
no.
Into.
No,
Okay.
you got the half answer. You got double the answer actually. When you are saying into, you are getting double answer.
In.
No, not in.
Two.
Two. I'm sorry to put you to so much of trouble. Okay, next one. I don't want to hold dash false hopes to you.
Onto.
Meaning is offer.
Onto.
No, not onto.
Into.
Not into. Nothing with two.
On.
No,
Up.
Upon.
no,
Upon.
no. Hold out.
Hold on.
We generally also say, please hold out my towel. That is, please offer me my towel. Please hold out the book for me. That is, please offer me the book from the shelf. or from your bag, or from the bench, or from anywhere. He is holding out a grudge against me, which means he is offering a repeated anger or revenge at whatever I am doing. I hope I am being a bit clear and you all are getting a hold of what the phrasal verbs are. Here, getting a hold of the phrasal verbs means here it's prepositional verbs, but getting the hold is what the verb and the object are of is a normal preposition. The next one.
The captain picked two men out of.
No, some more answers.
No. The captain picked.
It's
From,
a very easy.
from,
No, no, not from, not from, not from.
it's off. Oh, sorry.
Picked
From
up.
pick,
Picked up. If you have the question why up, why not out? If anyone has, I am ready to clarify. When you
Yes,
pick
yes,
up,
please.
yes, when you pick up, that means to choose, right? We say, please pick up the call. That means please choose to attend that call. Please pick up the grains. That is, please have the choice to pick up the grains, to take the grains from somewhere. Right? Pick up means to choose. Have a choice.
Here you are saying picked up.
Yes.
Correct? The
Yes.
captain picked two men up of the whole lot.
Yes. Means suppose the captain had a team of 50 people. He chose two out of those 50 for some work.
Yes, that I understood. Please repeat the sentence with up.
The captain, I'm not able to see the sentence on my screen. Okay. So if I
Okay.
take
Please.
bother,
The
the
captain picked.
captain
Mhm.
the
cap,
captain picked two men up from the whole lot. That means the captain picked up two men from the whole lot. I could have placed the object two men after the preposition up. I just put it in between to trick you so that you understand that the phrasal verbs can be broken as we had read in the beginning, as we
Two
had
men
discussed
up
in the beginning.
of the whole lot. Okay.
Still, if any question or queries, I am ready to answer.
So why not out?
When you
The
pick
captain
out,
picked two men out of the whole lot. There was a
yeah,
whole lot.
that means dismiss.
Okay.
Yes, you pick out something, that means you dismiss.
Okay. So here it is selected.
Yes, here it is selected.
Okay. 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 Understood. Thank you.
So, if we are clear how phrasal verbs establish themselves, so let's go and just on the surface know how phrasal verbs and idioms are different to each other. Someone had asked me this question in the beginning. Here is a small paragraph where the main verb is make. Okay, and in with the use of this make, I have written and highlighted some idioms and some phrasal verbs. So one by one you can just go through just go through it, and then I will discuss on the idiom part and directly on the phrasal verb part how they are working. So if you want, you can take a minute and give it a read, then ask your questions, or I will just clarify how things are working here. Are we done with the passage?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sure. So the first highlight is make both ends meet. Here,
Idiom.
yes, it's an idiom because it's a phrasal idiom. Idioms are always phrases, right? They are a group of words that make some sense but cannot exist independently. So, make both ends meet means to have necessities fulfill you, right? Whatever is your requirement to achieve them. If my requirement is a cup of tea but I'm not able to afford it, that means I'm not able to make both ends meet. That is my income plus my necessity of expenditure. So make both ends meet. Made to make off. Make off means he tried to make his establishments, means to earn or to give an attempt on mm, meeting the goals, right? Make off with a pot made of gold means he tried, he thought, or he was thinking, he was attempting on fulfilling his requirements with the pot of gold. Okay. By breaking my box means clearly by stealing, I mean breaking the lock of my box to have the pot of gold to satisfy his needs, as he was unable to satisfy his needs, he was not able to make both ends meet, right? So in the next line, I I made after him means I chased him. I kept a close watch on him. I chased him. Making up, uh, making up my mind means becoming determined. Here, making up is again making up my mind. Making up is the phrasal verb. Okay, here making up my mind is not an idiom. You make up your mind, you make up the box, you make up your luggage, you can make up anything. But mostly make up your mind. When make up your mind is used, that means determination, that is fixing up that yes, I have to do this, I am preparing. So I chased him, preparing myself, okay, to hand him over to the police, right? I was determined, I was prepared to hand him over to the police by chasing him, by catching him, by having a close watch on him, because he was planning a burglary on my box of the pot full of gold. Then the next highlight is in the sentence, the thief could not make his way in the dark. That means he could not determine which way, he could not see, he could not decide, he could not recognize which direction he has to go. He could not find his way. Make out his way is find his way in the dark. I caught him. The thief then made a promise. Made a promise is an idiom because as we have read, phrasal verbs must have a verb plus verb or adverb. Promise is not an adverb, right? It never tells you more about verb. Promise is simply an abstract noun. So made a promise. Can someone read the between lines for me? Never to.
Never to steal anything.
Yes. Hope uh, i hope the difference between idioms and phrasal verbs is clear. If you have please go on.
So basically, we had two idioms in this passage and five phrasal verbs.
Yes.
Make off, made after, making up my mind, make out.
Yes.
क्या हुआ?
Someone has any other queries or if has anything to put in, any doubts till now from the whole session that we did, please feel free to answer, ask. because that's it what I have prepared from phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are of a lot in number, right? That comes with more practice. I could not cover so many. Bring up, bring out, bring in, bring off, bring to, and I can go on and on. Give up, give in, give out. So that comes with practice. The basics that I tried to cover for everyone to have a understanding on phrasal verbs is, phrasal verbs are basically verb plus adverb or preposition. They are they are like a phrase, that is a group of words which makes a sense but cannot exist independently, and are of two types, that is transitive and intransitive, which is one is dependent on the object for telling you what the action is being done, the other one is not dependent on the object, is independent of the subject and object, just tells you what the action is being done, right? Then we understood the difference between phrasal verbs and prepositions, which in normal grammatical language is called prepositional verbs. Please don't get confused. In both prepositions, as we know, establish a relationship between the noun, the object, the subject, and the verb, right? And they tell you the position of the noun on which terms the action is being done, whereas phrasal verbs do not establish any relationship between the verb and the object or the noun, and they don't tell you the position in which condition the action is being done. That's the very basic and very simple difference between a preposition and a phrasal verb to identify which one is which. After that, the difference between phrasal verbs and idioms is, idioms are also kind of phrases, that is, they are group of words that make some sense and cannot exist independently, but they don't have a preposition or an adverb to make a justification phrasal verb. They will not be called a phrasal verb. They will have a verb with some other words, but not a preposition or an adverb. Phrasal verb must have an adverb or a preposition to make itself a phrasal verb. If you have any queries, please ask, or else I will not understand if you have understood or if I have clarified or we need some more discussion. Please, please.
I think no questions are there. Then we can
Yes,
wind up.
right, right.
This is something that scares me the most. Either I actually explained the things in the worst possible manner that no one understood anything and has no questions, or I seriously did a great job for myself.
Think of great job.
You did a great job.
Yes,
Ah,
yes, you did a
yes.
great job.
Right.
If you want, if you have some questions on phrasal verbs that you want the answers
Actually,
from, then please you can ask.
actually, I am regretting because I could not join you before. I joined you just in the end, just for 5 to 7 minutes. Otherwise, I would have a lot many questions for you. But what I can make out, like since you were giving conclusion or say the summary, whatsoever you conducted, I could understand a little bit out of. So, in my words, I would say it was great. Kudos to you. Great going.
Thank you, ma'am. I guess the recording of the whole session will be shared in the group. You can go through it, and I am available in the group. You can
I
always
know.
ping me on WhatsApp, and we
Yes.
can have a discussion. Or if
Absolutely. That's a wonderful part of you. You're such a beautiful by heart girl. Thank you for that. God bless you.
I
thank
need to
you.
ask you something, Akshita.
Yes, please.
Can we convert a phrasal verb sentence
Hmm.
into a preposition?
Yes, you can.
Can
Yes,
you
you can.
give an example like?
Mm, just give me a second. Let me think. Yes, you can do that. Mm. As we did in one of the example, the hood of the car keeps off the sun and the rain. In place of keeps off, you can say the hood of the car prevents the sun and the rain off. See, you cannot make the phrasal verb into a normal prepositional verb. You can use the meaning or the word which the phrasal verb is replacing to convert a phrasal verb sentence into a normal prepositional sentence.
So this sentence, the hood of the car keeps off the sun and the rain, is a
Phrasal verb.
phrasal verb.
Yes.
But by using prevents, how do we make it prepositional? It is not telling.
The hood of the car prevents the sun and the rain off.
May I tell?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Can I tell?
Yes, sure.
The hood of the car prevents us from the sun and the rain. Prevents us from. It should be like this. हमें उससे बचाता है. It saves us from sun and the rain.
You can do it that way as well.
And it should be like this. What I understood.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the help.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. To convert, you cannot convert the phrasal verb directly. You cannot do that. You can just use the word or the phrase which it was replacing to convert the sentence.
Okay.
See,
Keeping the meaning same.
It's a way to understand that sentence. It's a way to understand the meaning of the phrasal verb.
phrasal
What I
verbs
understood.
just make the sentence a bit informal. Your conversations
Shortly.
are more informal, but not
Yes.
using the phrasal verb will not make much difference in your conversations. Phrasal verbs
Okay.
just ornament your sentence, they make it more sophisticated, they make it more informal, and make it easier for others to understand.
Yeah. You know,
Right.
I was watching something of this sort, like where they used a lot of phrasal verbs, and I have to constantly Google it while watching something. So it was really helpful for me. Now I know many phrases and all. Now I'm able to understand it. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome.
Genuinely.
Always remember three simple rules. One, phrasal verbs are phrasal verbs when the verb is combined with either an adverb or a preposition. Two, phrasal verbs do not need a subject to establish themselves. They just tell you what the action is being done based on the object, or simply what the action is done. They don't even need the object to establish the action. Three, they do not set any relation between the noun and the verb, nor do they tell you what is the position of the noun or the verb. They just tell you what action is there.
Okay. Okay, understood.
Any more discussion? I took 15
Thank
days
you
to
very
prepare
much.
this
Thank you. We
because
took so
I
much of
want
your
you all
time.
to have a great time.
Thank you, Akshita, for
Thank
such
you.
a
Yeah, thank you,
wonderful
Akshita.
session.
Thank you so much.
It was visible, Akshita, that you took a lot of pain to prepare it. It was revealing. It was shown during your this thing. Thanks for your such devotion.
You're
Thank
most
you.
welcome. I know I have already short the time by 30 minutes, but if still you have any queries, I am available offline.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Still,
you.
still there is one query left.
Yes, please.
What,
I'll answer, no worries.
what did Veena madam made today for dinner?
Oh. Really sorry. At that time, I couldn't switch off that one.
No
I'm
worries,
really
ma'am.
sorry.
अब बस आप जो भी बनाए हैं फुल के एंड एवरीथिंग आप बस पार्सल कर दो.
I'll be inviting you to my home
Sure,
sometime.
I
Okay.
would love to jump in.
Okay. Thank you. You are most welcome.